So please give your love and attention to Carol Crawford.
Thank you, Dominic, and of course, Madam Music. And good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I wasn't sure if I was going to do a trance today, because I just felt like perhaps it would be nice to actually stand up and give the address, being inspired by Spirit rather than allowing Spirit to step in and completely make that transition. And so I've been asking Spirit, because I totally trust them, what they would like me to talk about today, because whether or not you're in deep trance or whatever way you work, you are always being inspired by Spirit. I am always so aware of that. And lately, it's like my guides have been looking at our perception of the angels and the guides. Now, I really love the spiritualist philosophy, because when I entered spiritualism, I actually did not know that that was what I was being taught. I found a development class via my sister, and I went down for my interview to see if I would be suitable for sitting in class. Now, all of my life I have had certain abilities that have been present, and those abilities were that, well, dead people weren't actually dead. To me, they were more alive and more real than a lot of the people I saw walking around in the living, so to speak. And I was always aware that when people said, "May the dead rest in peace," that just did not seem that they actually did rest in peace. They became more active. They wanted to have a say and a voice and guidance and love with us still on the earth plane. They didn't go to some heavenly realm where they sat and spent the whole time pondering the angelic world with harps and angels. They seemed to be very real. They seemed to be very present and seemed to know what was going on in our life. Now, the one thing I did notice the more I worked with this is that everyone has a story. Even if you don't believe in Spirit, everyone has a story. Everyone can relate to something that has happened to them. Would you not agree? If you ask them, they may say they don't believe it, because seeing really isn't believing, but they will have some connection to those who have passed. But why wouldn't they? We love them, don't we? We love our family. And there seems to be a misperception that when we pass on to Spirit, we become ghosts. And ghosts are something that perhaps we should fear. And I'm forever saying to people, would you really fear your own mother? No, that's ridiculous. I loved my mother. So why would you fear that presence and that energy coming to tell you that they're okay? Now that's spiritualism. That was the one thing, I think, through all of those years of development classes and then working, that I really gained in that whole process, that those who have left this life are as fully present and aware as what they ever were. And in fact, I would have gone as far as to say that they are inhabiting the same space. They're all around us. Perhaps we should start to look at those moments where we catch a glimpse. It's not that they show themselves, it's that for that moment we see through the veil and we see what is always there. Fourth dimension, connecting into third dimension, time and space. That's the manifestation of Spirit, and it's always with us. We can't look up to heaven to see the angels. We look within us and around us and understand that that energy is always there. A medium simply has the ability, because of training usually and working with it, to be able to at will ask for that connection. And that's the other point that I think I really understood, was that when a medium sits down to work with spirit, they are asking and seeking that connection. They are working with it. In my development classes, I say to you, if you think meditation is there for your relaxation, you are sadly mistaken. You are sitting down now to work, and you are going to work. You're going to draw that energy through. You're going to ask spirit to step in. You're going to become a detective. You're going to ask pertinent questions. Who are you? What part of the family? What do you look like? And then you're going to receive that information and hand that forward. So mediumship is about that living bridge between the worlds. There is not one medium on the platform who would be any more evolved than what you are sitting in the congregation. The difference perhaps is that that medium has spent many years tuning their skill and learning how to interpret the information. Now guides become a huge part of that process. Spiritual guides. Who are these guides who come to us? Sometimes we see them perhaps as an ancient culture. We may recognize them as Native American, Egyptian. They may be a doctor of the Western world. Whatever capacity they come in on, who are they and why do they line up with us to work? I believe we have a hierarchy. We have many who come in to work with us at certain stages of our lives. But then there are those who walk our entire life beside us. Our guardian spirit is perhaps one of those such energies. The guardian spirit, as I have come to know, and all of this is purely my perception. I don't expect one person to take any of what I'm saying as gospel, because it's all individual and your own journey. That's what I like about spiritualism. Don't try to indoctrinate me. Give me information, arm me with that information, and allow me the ability and the freedom to go and discover it for myself. Now, my experience won't be the same as you, but it will certainly have aspects that is a common thread. And the guardian spirit is one of those such common threads and links. Guardian spirit is that little voice that you have been hearing your whole life. The guardian spirit is that presence that says to you, perhaps you could have made a wiser choice. If you turn down here instead of going straight, go, pick up that phone, ring that person. Intuitively, you get a sense of the little voice that plays out in your mind, the guidance that you are being given. So when you meet with that guardian, there are certain calling cards that you will recognize. It may be a feeling, it may be a visual. You may, quite often for me, I get a sense of my face changing because they come in very close, which is not always as I would wish it to be, but I understand that is the process for them working through me, and I honour that. So guardian spirit is not just present in one lifetime. If you believe that we are eternal soul and eternal spirit,